Are you serious? Are you serious? Get some coffee. Calm down. I'm trying to, but it's going to be tough. As I said last night, those of you who are watching me live on Primetime Live last night at 10 p.m. Eastern, you know that I was reporting to you that because of the tension that was building all week in Jerusalem, that today it was going to blow, and it has, because it's Friday, and it's Friday prayers. And whenever it comes time for thousands of Muslims to ascend upon the Temple Mount to pray at the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock, what happens is today the Muslims are refusing to go through the metal detectors. And Israel says, we're not blocking you. You can go pray. Go through the metal detector and go pray, just like the Jews do, just like the Christians do. Yet they can't pray. They got to go through all this security without praying. You can just go through and pray. And they refuse, and now the lid has blown off the kettle for sure. The cup of trembling, the burdensome stone for all people, as it says in the Bible. It has happened, folks. There's no question. We'll check on this prophecy alert when we go to Zechariah 12 in a moment. But let me give you the headline. Here's what's going on. Palestinian has been killed. A Palestinian has been killed as Israel restricts access to Jerusalem's old city. That's just not true. They've not restricted any access. They're just making them go through metal detectors. Guys, I've been there. I know what I'm talking about. In Jerusalem, Jane, who got thrown off the Temple Mount the other day, the Hamas has put her video and her picture on their website, and they're basically targeting her. So I need you to pray for her. Now, here's what's going on. A Palestinian has died after being shot in the head in East Jerusalem neighborhood near the old city. And the Palestinian Health Ministry says as clashes breaking out in the area. Tension has mounted over new security measures at a highly sensitive holy site, and the police are restricting access for Muslim prayers. Again, I'm disagreeing with this report. The ministry, however, did not specify who was behind the shooting in the neighborhood there in East Jerusalem. Now, the unrest came after Israeli ministers decided not to order the removal of the metal detectors, which have been erected at the entrance to the Haram al-Sharif Mosque compound, known to the Jews as the Temple Mount, after an attack nearby a week ago that killed 2 Israeli police officers. I mean, they just executed them. So you had 3 Palestinian gunmen enter the Temple Mount and kill point blank. I seen the video. They shot the first guy in the back of the head, and then they killed the other guy. All right. In anticipation of the protest on Friday, Israel police barred men under 50 from entering the old city for prayers, while all women were allowed in, and any men 50 and over were allowed in. Police said that later the discretion could be applied in the use of the metal detectors instead of forcing everyone to go through them. But Palestinians and religious leaders were still calling on worshipers not to enter until the devices are removed. So hundreds held midday prayers near the gates of the old city in protest. According to police, dozens of people entered the compound. Crowds gathered outside the old city, found streets around Damascus Gate. I've been there, and that's the one place. I mean, the whole city of Jerusalem is fairly peaceful, unless the tensions like this spill over. And if it does, Damascus Gate, which is on the east side of Jerusalem, where most of the Muslim shops are in the old city, that's the one area that I kind of go in other gates. I go through there, but I'm just saying. And so anyway, crowds gather outside the old city, found the streets around Damascus Gate, the entrance heavily used by Palestinians, and they've blocked the gates. So the Palestinians are blocking the gates. A group of several hundred people, including Muslim leaders, have marched towards the Lion's Gate entrance to the mosque compound. But police informed them that only men 50 and over would be allowed in. Police later fired stun grenades tear gas canisters towards protesters outside the old city, while the Palestinians threw stones and other objects at the security forces in some of the different areas. They turned back everyone who came here to pray, but then I told them I was going to the doctor, but they did not let me in, said one of the Palestinian young men at the age of 42. I'm going to pray here with others. So they're praying outside. It's getting ugly in the streets of Jerusalem. Tear gas, stun grenades, stones are being thrown. Tensions have risen exactly as I basically told you would happen, predicted last night on my live show. I predicted this would be, and this will probably carry on into tomorrow and maybe even in through Sunday. Who knows? But usually after Friday prayers, this is when the Muslims get riled up. After Friday prayers, it's always dangerous. Now, Palestinians may do a lot of clashing today. That when they finally do settle down, they will then reorganize and they will then stage some type of response. Again, an offensive of some sort. And this becomes the danger if they start calling for an intifada or a jihad. And that's why I wrote the book, Jerusalem Jihad. I wrote the book while in Jerusalem and after having a vision, and I can tell you it's on the money. It's on the money. I wrote that book in 2013, and now it is on the money. Well, the controversy has resonated beyond Israel. If you want to get a copy of the book, somebody else is going to type there. You just go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. It's in the store. Just go there. You'll find it, okay? Love for you to read it. It really bless you. The Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas spoke with Donald Trump's senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner. Abbas urged the United States administration to immediately intervene and warned the situation was extremely dangerous and might spiral out of control. The Palestinian Authority official Wafa News is reporting the Turkish president now, Erdogan, has also called on Israel to remove those detectors. See, I told you, first they'll clash, then they'll call the president. He'll stand with Israel. Then they'll call the United Nations. Meanwhile, world leaders of Muslim nations will start condemning Israel for making Muslims go through metal detectors, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody else has to. And anyway, the Jews and the Christians are not the ones going up there with guns killing people. It's the Muslims. I mean, I'm just being objective here. So if you're a Muslim, you want to go pray, you don't have a gun, go through the metal detector and go up there and pray and worship. Why is it always got to be they don't have to follow the rules? Well, for once on God's green earth, can we tell them to follow the rules? Let's just stand the ground and say, look, you're going to follow the rules or go pray somewhere else. It's up to you. Simple. We're just not. But see, the world will come against Israel over this subject. You watch. It's starting the Jerusalem jihad. And Trump is being weakened in America by a backbiting, discord sowing, false witnessing, lying bunch of mass media, and also the Democrats and the judiciary system and everybody else, and some of these establishment Republicans. They're trying to weaken the president to where he can't be strong and stand with Israel as he wants to, because he's got so many fires to put out right here in his own backyard. This is the plan, folks. This is the New World Order's chaos. Order out of chaos. And the Temple Mount is so important to everyone. Let me just read it. Zechariah chapter 12, 3 verses. Listen to this. For the burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretches forth the heavens, and laid the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. Folks, you're going to have to decide which side you're on. And if you're an anti-Semite and you go against the children of God and you go against God, then you're going to find yourself on the short end of the stick here. I mean, it's really important that you do the right thing here. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the Muslim people that their eyes are open. Pray for the tensions to subside. Pray that people understand and that we can stop the fighting and the hatred. Let Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, may his love flow over every human being that would call upon his name. We're truly living in the last days. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy, but we're in the last days. Don't miss today's live broadcast. It will be crucial. Are you serious?